What's good, y'all? Flash Speaks back, man. Another video. As I'm just riding through the city of Philadelphia, you know what I mean? In my hot car doing another video. As the angry fan says, hot car. I don't even know what that means, man. But anyway, I just wanted to address something real quick, man. And this is not one of those videos that I have to make because, on my videos and, my YouTube channel, I can pretty much say how I want to do it, how I want. But integrity is very important to me. It's something I take very seriously. And accusations of being biased and hypocritical, which is a really strong one, I ain't gonna say bother me, but it does make me wonder why someone would say such a thing, accuse me of such a thing, of being hypocritical or biased, And there's a few. One guy was very strong language. I mean, my video must have pissed him off, today. So he says, I'm a hypocritical, biased person and all of this. And the reason is my reaction or my breakdown of the Chicago Sky game, which if you actually notice wasn't really a real thorough reaction from the standpoint of I didn't go into like a lot of stats or any of those types of things. I kind of shouted the team out for just pulling out a victory more, so it was one of those types of things. But let's even say if it was. Apparently, the guy and a couple of guys were upset because I didn't go in on Angel Reese for this game. Okay, because apparently, in their opinion, Angel Reese was horrible, last night from the field. I haven't confirmed this, but according to them, she had 8 shots blocked. Eight shots. That's what they saying, right? I don't know if that's true or not, maybe. I don't know. I did notice there were a number of shots that were blocked, like at the rim from her, And what it is they think that I'm supposed to go in on that. Like I'm supposed to be angry about the shots being blocked. That's supposed to make me say she was horrible, she sucks, she can't play, all of that. So if I did that, then that would mean I'm not being biased and that I'm being fair when I criticize or when I talk about Angel Reese or whatever. Because I guess it's like, my last Caitlin Clark video where when the Fever lost to New York, right? It wasn't the Atlanta loss. I think it was the New York loss where I said she was horrible because of the she had taken 18 shots, to get 18 points, and then she had 10 turnovers, and then her defense, So I'm going to try to explain why this is the case, okay? Why it seems like that, right? Okay, there's a number of things at work here when I'm criticizing or when I'm, critiquing, okay? Number one, if you notice, I place wins above everything. Like, for example, let's say, for example, Caitlin Clark. Just using her because, she's used all the time, Let's say Caitlin Clark has a bad shooting day and she's not doing her thing or whatever. And then let's say all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2 minutes left in the game, Caitlin Clark just comes through and wins the game for the team. When I do a post game, my emphasis would be on what she did in the last 2 minutes to win the game versus what happened early in the game. Why? Because winning is the number one thing out of everything. That's number one. But then if we decide to go a deep dive and do the nitpicking thing, then sure, I would do that. Okay? So in other words, we're talking about Angel Reese's game yesterday. In other words, had the Chicago Sky lost the game, had they lost, now I start looking at why you lost. And then when I look at why you lost, then I'll stumble upon, damn, Angel Reese was horrible from the field. If she was better from the field, maybe they win. Like, do you understand what I'm getting at? Like, I'm of the old school belief, and Bill Belichick articulated properly, perfectly, when he said that stats are for losers. And what does this mean? When you win a game, right? When you win a game, which is the objective, the stats serve what purpose? Really? To look at it and say, okay, well, we determine who's MVP, who was the best player out of it, right? Maybe. But really, the stats aren't that important when you win, because the objective was there. You won the game. Okay? If you want to nitpick, then you'll find, okay, you didn't score this, you didn't score it. Right? That's my mindset. Okay? Stats are for losers because when you lose, right? Now players start to look for excuses as to why they're not the reason you lost. You got it? You got me? So now, like, okay, I can say, hey, look, I scored 25 points and I got 10 rebounds, so I'm not the reason we lost. That's the meaning of stats are for losers. It's something you could use to try to remove blame from yourself. But for me, generally, when you lose, everybody's the reason you lost. Unless it's something specific. Yeah? You know, something ridiculous, like one player goes out there and misses 5 free throws. And y'all end up winning, losing, and you're at the end of the game, you got a chance, you miss 5 free throws. Or a player goes off and decides, I'm not going to play with the team, I'm just going to gun. You know, it got to be something clear where I can point to just that one person is the reason they lost. Okay? Now, why did I say Caitlin Clark was the reason they lost to New York? Okay, it's because in that particular game, Caitlin Clark shot horribly. She had 10 turnovers, and her defense was horrible. That was the specific reason why in that game I went in on Caitlin Clark, because it was in a loss. Had they won, I wouldn't have done that. It's very simple. Now, if someone was to pick and pride at me that Caitlin Clark played well, I might would say, no, she didn't play well. But I would not go in on her or say she's the reason they lost, because they would have won the game, and it really wouldn't be that important to me. See what I mean? That's how that works. That's on one level. Second level, point 2. And this is specifically to how I deal with Caitlin Clark, because there are some Caitlin Clark fans that come through that I absolutely respect and like, and I don't want them to not come here, right? These are decent Caitlin Clark fans who are really basketball fans, but they like her game. We may disagree about the quality of her game and so on. And it's fun because in the end, one of us is going to be right, one of us is going to be wrong. I could very well be wrong. Her skill set could win a championship or two. I don't know. I'm of the opinion at this point that it's unlikely, okay? And you're of the opinion that she will, okay, we good. Not a problem. Some of them, these people I respect, they believe I'm like not judging her and Angel Reese on the same scale. And you know what? They're actually right. I'm not judging them on the same scale. Why? It's very simple. And this may be unfair to Caitlin Clark. It might be. But I'm going to tell you why I don't really care if it's unfair to her. And this is because Caitlin Clark is touted as a top 5 player in the league. According to ESPN, she's ranked the 4th best player in the league. Okay? This is after Aja Wilson, Napheesa Collier, Breanna Stewart. Okay? She's ranked ahead of players like Sabrina Ionescu, ahead of players like Kelsey Plum, ahead of players like Jackie Young, ahead of players like Kalia Copper. She's ranked ahead of players like Brittany Griner. She's ranked ahead of players, okay? Like players that have accomplished more in the league, have played more years, accomplished more, have titles, who, according to my eye test, are better. Okay? Trust me. If I have to cover a game and Breanna Stewart is horrible in the game, I'm going to say Breanna Stewart is horrible in the game. Right? There is no, well, Breanna just has to work on this, or she just can add that to her game or whatever. No. This is a top player. So we're not talking like that. When it comes to Caitlin Clark, I know there's things she needs to add. I know there's things she needs to learn. I know that. But ESPN acts like they don't know that. Vegas, who is giving her all these MVP odds and all, they act like they don't know that. Caitlin Clark content creators act like they don't know that. They act like they don't know that she needs to add more moves. They act like they don't know that she's not a 3-level scorer. They act like they don't know that. So you know what? I'm going to just go with that. And I'm not judging her on the rookie scale. I'm going to judge her like a top 5 player should be judged. That's under a microscope. That's with nitpicking. That's with all of those things. Whereas Angel Reese, what is ESPN saying? She's barely top 25 in the league. I wasn't even offended by her. Me personally, I'm different with a lot of Angel Reese fans here. I had no problem with them putting her at 25. No problem at all. I didn't feel it was disrespectful, any of that. Now, they may have been trying to be disrespectful. That's possible. But me personally, I thought Angel Reese had a very good rookie campaign. And I believe that to be considered a top 25 player out of 160, right? It should be about 160 now. I thought, hey, that's good. Why? Because I respect the women of the WNBA. I don't think they're a bunch of scrubs. I don't think they're a bunch of bumps. I find it to be actually a very difficult league with highly skilled players and a lot of concentrated talent. I believe it's a very difficult league. So 25, I think is great, is good. Where I rank Caitlin Clark, around 18-ish, I think is a high ranking, personally, to me. But no, I'm told, no, she's the 4th. Some probably believe she's better than Napheesa Collier and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm hearing some of these guys say she is the greatest women's basketball player I've ever seen. How can I judge her with this rookie curve thing? How? Whereas Angel Reese, you judge her on a rookie curve. She's on a second-year curve. She got it. She has to learn this. She has to add this. She has to do this. She has to do that. Why? Because, she's not overhyped or overrated. You see what I mean? I hope you understand, right? When your top 5 players are expected to not only make the playoffs, They're expected to go far in the playoffs. You guys are telling me she's better than Alyssa Thomas. This is what you're telling me. You're expected to go far in the playoffs. Period. You're expected to contend for titles when you're top 5. This is in any sport. Tell me a quarterback that's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL that's not expected to win a Super Bowl. Tell me, I'm all ears. Name them. Mahomes, Lamar, Josh. All are expected to win a Super Bowl. Every year. You saying the girl's top 4. She got to be judged like she top 4. I can't. How am I going to judge her differently? Right? You'll think I'm disrespecting her if I judge her on a rookie curve and all of that. See, but y'all, this is the problem. Y'all want her to be praised like she's as good as Nafisa Collier, like she's as good as Angel Wilson, like she's just better than Kelsey Plum, like she's better than all these players. Y'all want to judge her y'all want to praise her that way, but you want to judge her like a rookie. Let me say that again. Y'all want people to praise her like she Angel Wilson, like she's Stewie, like she Nafisa, because she better than Sabrina, she better than all of them. Y'all want to judge her. Y'all want to praise her that way. But when it comes to judging, you want to judge her like she's just a second-year player with all this mercy and all of that. And you can't have that both. You can't do that. You can't have it both ways, people. So, I mean, I just hope you understand this. Next time you decide, that I'm just a hypocrite, that I'm just biased and all of that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, how else am I going to judge her? She top 5 to y'all. Tell me, break it down to me, man. And this is honest. Being real. Break it down to me, man. Because I'm not getting it. What memo am I missing? So, peace out, man. Good talking to y'all.